Hi everyone, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks, and today I'm going to be playing the most popular Tier 7 vehicles in the game in the last 30 days, at least on the European server, and I'm going to be playing live for YouTube without the benefit of cherry picking my games. So, what exactly are the most popular vehicles? Well, firstly, it's the VK3002D. So this Tier 7 German medium tank is probably the most popular because it's been top of the tree, and the Leopard at tier 10 is the most popular tier 10 tank overall, I think, even when it's not top of the tree, at least when Wargaming decide to unnecessarily nerf the Progetto 65 to affect that vehicle's popularity. Congrats on Wargaming for that. Now the Progetto 65 is not a vehicle that I really ever want to play. It's still a tank that can have good games, but I definitely, now I've got a line, why would I ever want to play the Progetto? So, the VK3002D, this is a high damage per minute tank with its 88mm, with just decent armor. It's just an all-rounder. Now, on a map like this, it's a little bit tricky as to what I'm going to try to do. Now, I could literally just go and sit over here on Paris, and I think would probably have the most boring game ever. So, alternatively, why don't we turn up the heat on our opponents, use a durability device, and try and play aggressively, even if I am playing against heavy tanks. Now, what I'm about to do is going to be incredibly risky. I'm actually going to make a play for the dip. I'm basically going to try and support the heavies at the front, because I feel like on Paris, if we can win the south, it's usually the best way to win the battle. Although, that's not to say that you can actually make some good plays across the north of Paris through the open field. But the tricky thing with that is, as this tank is not sneaky at all, we can have some significant issues. Oh my word, talk about significant issues. Am I about to really 1v1 a Borask? This could be an absolute disaster to start the day off with. But you know what? If I can kill a Borask, at the start of the game, this is actually a pretty darn good trade for a tier 8. But no, I'm going to die to the 56, but maybe I can kill the Borask anyway. Oh, I really hope I can kill this Borask before he reloads. Oh no. Well, that's it. That's why we're not cherry picking our games. I made an aggressive play. All of the enemies have done the same thing. But at the end of the day, with your decision making in World of Tanks, you've got to try and do what you think is best for your vehicle. And I did not see that the northern play really going and camping was going to be useful, especially if the Borask, which usually goes and sits up over here and sits and camps in those bushes, would just prevent me from playing the entire battle. I rolled the dice, and unfortunately it wasn't my game for the VK3002D. Oh well, this might end up being one of the fastest playing live videos ever. Okay, so now we're going to be playing in a tank that is truly special in my heart. This is the Tiger. This vehicle was my first ever tier 7 tank back in the day. I was such a quintessential World of Tanks player starting in 2010 in the closed beta. Firstly, I was one of the biggest noobs ever, and go and watch one of my videos which is called Everyone Starts as a Noob if you want to see exactly why. But yeah, all I really wanted to do inside the game was get the Tiger. And I don't think that was an unusual thing back then, and still I don't think it's an unusual thing like 13 years later in World of Tanks. The Tiger is just magnificent because it's just got really good damage per minute for its tier, 2,153, a really nice performing 88mm with darn decent standard pen of 203, and since Wargaming buffed this thing up to have better alpha damage as well, 280, whereas back in the day I believe it had 240. It's now not something that you ever want to sit in front of. Although, the problem with the Tiger is that its armor, even though it's 100mm, which works against things like Panzer IVs and yada yada yada, this thing isn't meeting Panzer IVs like it probably, well, obviously it wouldn't meet Panzer IVs back in actual World War II. But you know, those kind of tiers of vehicles, like Shermans, it would meet, right? And inside World of Tanks, meeting a Sherman would be like a +2 matchmaking for the Tiger. However, it usually gets pitted up against more scary things that didn't really exist, like Iron Arnies, or CS-52 Leases, or a KV-4, a tank which weighs 100 tons. And while this is by no means a light vehicle, it weighs 57 tons, it just kind of skews it a little bit as to how impressive this thing was from a war perspective. Alrighty then, so what is your best bet in the Tiger? Well, the Tiger's got decent view range, it's got 380 base with a decent crew, Brothers in Arms, Situational Awareness, and Recon, you should be able to spot and snipe your opponents. So what I'm going to do is go into a position that no one seems to ever... Oh, there's a tree fell just right there. Eagle-Eye QuickyBaby on the case. Nobody seems to want to go into this position. It's a position that a lot of people used to go into back in the day, but now that people rush that rock up there, it kind of prevents that from being useful. So I'm trying to remember which tree it was that fell. It was this one, right? So I'll wait for my stun to just wear off, and then I'm going to zoom out into third person and try and take shots. And the reason why you zoom out into third person is because if you zoom out into third person, you can see if your shell disappears. And if a shell disappears, that gives you a pretty darn good idea that you might have, well, that you have hit the vehicle. Unfortunately, we don't seem to be landing that. Now, interestingly enough, my team has actually pushed up towards the north, and that looks like that was the Jagdpanzer that maybe knocked down that tree. Unfortunately for me... Oh, that was interesting. Unfortunately for me, the Jagdpanzer is not going to get hit very much as we don't have too many tanks towards the south, but wow, look at that. We are actually getting some vision in. Okay, so I'm going to switch to a gold round here because it might help me against the KV-4. I got spotted again, who seems to be locked in place. 7 degrees of gun depression on this vehicle, so definitely not the best with regards to that. I've got to be careful here. This KV-4 will take huge chunks out of my armor, but hopefully I'll take a few huge chunks out of his. This is scary. I've literally got 2 of the enemy's tier 8 tanks just sitting in front of me. Take that, Borlak. Now, I don't really need the gold round loaded for the lower tier heavy, but I need the gold round for the KV-4. I'm just going to med that so that I can get the cheeky shot in. And I've got the rate of fire advantage on this KV-4, even though he's got no bad rate of fire. He seems to know what he's doing with wiggling his gun up in my face there to avoid me shooting his weak point. Hopefully we can get a few more shots in. One right through the front. Now, the KV-4, even when I load gold, 237 still isn't enough really to pressure that location. Okay, this is actually getting really ugly because do you see how my whole team went up north and then they basically decided... you know what, we're not actually going to push the north. And I understand why. Because, wow, look, we actually won the VK game on Paris. Wow, that's quite lucky. Nobody pushes north because once they manage to get through, it's very hard to be able to deal with your opponents. Wow, how many tier 8s are up here? This is terrifying. We've literally got all of the enemy's tier 8s up here. Luckily, we haven't lost any of our tier 8s either, so that should be okay. Okay, yeah, this is pretty ugly once again. I'm just hoping that these players make some mistakes. Is the SU about to push me from behind? That's an even bigger nightmare happening. What is going on with my tier 7 tanks? What is going on with my tier 7 tanks right now? Come on, baby. Oh no, that SU is going to be able to get us in the butt. Well, I can't see any other way than to just try and drive out to this position. And then maybe I can turn around and try and engage the VK. Maybe now the KV-4 won't try and push my butt. What is this matchmaker today? I don't understand why we've got a T-32 in the middle of the map. I also don't understand why we have a Churchill who's just driving around there. Oh well, final stand of the Tiger 2, right? Final stand of the Tiger 2. Would be nice if I was playing a Tiger 2, but I'm playing a Tiger 1. Oh, nice shot VK, nice shot KV-4. Looks like it's my final shot of the game. What are you gonna do? Just too many higher tier vehicles all pushing us from a variety of positions. Maybe they still lose because do you notice now they're driving out in front of our tier 8s who are in sneaky sniper positions. Maybe. Definitely not the glorious game that I wanted. I only did 2,000 combined there for the Tiger 1, but at least we were kind of still the meat in that position. Just never really an opportunity to use that wonderful 88mm. Okay, so what is the next most popular tank? We've played a medium, we've played a heavy. Let's play a tank destroyer, and it's the Cheeto SP. Look at this thing's win ratio, 53% average on the European server. The Cheeto SP is just an absolute beast of a tank. It is in every single way. This is the latest tier 7 tank destroyer in the game. This Japanese behemoth is completely overpowered. I don't know what Wargaming were really thinking with the statistics of the Cheeto SP when they decided to put it into the game. It has everything. It has damage per minute. It has accuracy. It's got 7 degrees of gun depression. It's got good upper superstructure armor with 250 millimeters of protection there. It's also not slow. It goes at 40 with a 15 power to weight ratio. This really is the be-all, end-all of tank destroyers. Unfortunately, as with a lot of my mid-tier vehicles, I don't have all the field mods on this tank, so it actually means that I can't change from using coated optics to using a durability device, and I would definitely prefer to use a durability device on this map, as this thing can play as a heavy tank. Now, you've obviously got to be careful with the crown that weighs heavily on top of this tank. You still want to get caught out there. I'm trying to think about where I want to go. Now, I could play the stereotypical snipey location and go and sit around there, but I feel like it's a real low-impact play for a tank where the two Sturm are going to just sit back with better camo and better view range than me. But this thing doesn't have bad view range at 370. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm actually going to take this thing to fight the heavies. I think that will be my best play to try and change the engagement into my team's favor. We've got 2 Tigers and a Tiger P versus 2 ISs and a VZ44-1. So it could really go either way. There's no standout overpowered vehicles there. If one team had like a couple of T29s, for example, with that hold down capacity, that is really where I think the advantage would be. Okay, considering my weak point is over on the right-hand side of my vehicle, that makes it actually better for me to go around the right-hand corner, if that makes sense. Okay, I got spotted. I was actually thinking about making a push play down the side, but instead what I'm going to do is just go and slinky in here and try and get hull down. Now remember what I said about the superstructure of this vehicle. It's like 250, which is very meaty, and the 7 degrees of gun depression should mean that I can actually wedge myself up a little bit to improve it just a little bit more. And this is going to be like a challenging situation for any heavy tank in front of this vehicle, because they have to hit my weak point, which when I use my gun depression, as you can see, is a lot more covered. But this thing also hits hard. It's got 320 alpha, which is not amazing for a tier 7 TD. SU-152 hits for 700 if you're using the stock gun, 390 if you're using the 122, while other tier 7 TDs, they're getting better and better. So let's see if this M6 can hit me here. I'm just going to sit still, and M6, nice snipe right into my weak point with gold. That's actually a really good hit. Definitely not the kind of trades I want to make, shooting a low tier heavy that has... It's a very deadly tank, the M6. Gosh darn it. We lost the Tiger game. I really thought that my team could be able to get through that one. I just realized I can wedge my tank up just a touch more here. Not that much. That much. Bit more? It's a bit dodgy there. So what you want to do in this situation is you actually drag your mouse down to see what the extent of your gun depression is. And you want to try and use as much as you can without not being able to hit the enemy tank. That's perfect. Because now that makes my weak point just so much smaller on top of the vehicle. I don't know what that T-3485 is doing. Is he really just chilling on that side? Shall I go and push him? No, I'm not. I can't really drive across the gap. It's going to be doom for me. I wonder where the IS has gone. Maybe the IS has gone down the other flank with the VK, or maybe they're just sitting at the back. So I don't want to push in here because I could just lose all of my hit points, especially with an IS waiting in ambush on the side. What I would prefer to do here is just wait. We've had quite a few fast games today, and I feel like maybe if I just try and slow down the game a little bit and use this tank to its strengths, which is sitting in a hold down position like this, then maybe we are going to be able to influence the battle later on. Although considering that we're down by 700 hit points, I'm a little bit nervous. And we also just saw where the IS is down the other flank, which means that realistically we should consider pushing here if we have the majority of our top tier vehicles. Plus with those 2 Sturm down the other flank and the SU-122, that is going to be a pain for my team to deal with. But I really can't see there being a way for me to push across here. I could double back and then go and shoot from the other corner. In fact, that is what I'm going to do. I could just continue to sit here, but I don't think that M6 is going to make a play out again. I just can't see that M6 is going to poke. And I feel like I have to influence this battle, or at least do something in it. And sitting in that position for several minutes, already starting to feel a little bit itchy. It's interesting in World of Tanks, you shouldn't ever really let your performance in the previous battles ever influence how you play in the subsequent ones. In the short term. In the long term, yes, you certainly should. What do you mean, QuickyBaby? Well, I mean, let's say you have like a bad run of 2 or 3 games. You shouldn't allow that to change your overall play style if, say, you've played 80,000 games of World of Tanks and you've got like 60% wins. Because making micro adjustments to your play can actually end up with you then not making the plays that make you a good a good player in the first place. So you've got to be careful. However, let's say that you've been doing the same mistake again and again and again and again and again and again, and it keeps not working. Yeah, that's definitely the time you should reevaluate whether a push play works. Okay, so my ARL actually pushed across. I'm not sure he's going to be able to survive there. The VZ is actually focusing on us now after we managed to clunk him in the side. He is not alive anymore. That means that I can probably cross here and isolate the M6. So the way that I'm going to drive is across in case the Cromwell spots me. Then I'm actually going to turn right in the open here so I don't get proxy spotted by the M6. Now I'm going to start to turn my tank because he's going to spot me around the corner and I don't want him to have my left-hand side of my vehicle. And hopefully, just like that, we can make the surprise on him. So there are like little things that when I get to play live like this on YouTube, I can kind of commentate a little bit more on that usually I wouldn't focus on in the actual replays itself. Oh, that's a low roll. Gosh, I really hope that doesn't come back to haunt me. I just spotted an artillery off to the side and a VK shooting me. Felt like I had to try and get rid of that. And look at this thing's armor, dude. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. That's gold that I just bounced so casually off the side. This thing's an absolute monster within that regard. Alright, I don't want this SU to escape up there. I also don't want the hold down VK to take too many chunks out of me. I guess the SU is just going to stay in the dip. There's no way he's driving out of there, I don't think. Alright, so if we've got a Cromwell above us, who's just hiding. Not that that's a bad play for him. I'm not trying to say that it's not. It definitely is a good play within that regard. I've got to be careful if I cross here, but also I've got to be careful if I don't kill this SU-12244. I realize I'm exposing myself to the Cromwell right now. Oh my word, I've actually caught the Cromwell. Okay, this is great. This is great. Let's get him. I wonder if that SU is going to try and flank me or not. He definitely is. He's definitely flanking me right now. I think he thinks he's got my side. He goofed. He goofed. He goofed, he goofed, he goofed. But unfortunately, that means that I don't get the extra shots into the Cromwell that I wanted. Okay, talking about goofed, I'm trying to think about how I can win this. Okay, I think my team are just going to lose the other flank, so I've got to try and... Now, if I go there, that mound is stopping me from spotting the arty. There's no way I'm going to get him. You know what I think I'm going to have to do? I think I'm going to actually have to fall back from this situation and try and mount a defense or try and help the challenger. Okay, the VK's actually trying to flank me. That's really interesting. Okay, their artillery might get me. I'm glad I did that, because otherwise the VK was going to get right up behind me. And the Cromwell's got me. Oh no. Okay, don't panic, don't panic. I've still got hit points. Don't let him get your side fully. Okay, so we turn in like this. Now we turn, and hopefully we're still not going to die to this Cromwell. Yes, good. He was just going to circle straight for me. Keep calm and carry on while you've got the HP, right? Nice. So the amount of tank destroyers that I see who can survive, who just don't realize it, and then they just start turning in circles against fast tanks. Honestly, it's kind of embarrassing when that happens. And even when you're under a high-pressure situation like that, just go for it. Who knows? Who knows what you'll be able to achieve? Talk about high-pressure situation. I just got to go after this VK. But, man, the enemies are playing, like, quite sneaky. They're doing some quite sneaky tactics here. There's the VK. Okay, don't fail me now. Gun. Nice. Don't fail me now, gun. Oh. Spicy, boys and girls. Oh, I'm actually really happy with the way that I played this. Okay, so now the game is, guys, just stay alive. Let me kill SPG. Okay, one of the cool things... Oh, no! Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, that could have been a disaster. Imagine live on YouTube that I have... What would I do? Would I just sit there for 6 minutes? Oh, no. Oh, no. That could have been a disaster. Luckily, we averted it. Okay, so now we've got to decide where the artillery is. I don't know where the artillery is going to be. I've only got 6 minutes. Do you think the artillery ran back over there, or do you think he's still waiting in the culvert? Is this a culvert? I think so. Probably. Not sure. Look at me trying to think about English language and unusual words rather than actually focusing on trying to win this game. Okay. So, there he is. I don't think he'll see me. I'm going to fall back here. Oh my lord. 5 kills. Guys, I cap now. Stay safe. But cover from side if you can. Oh man, I'm feeling a little bit stressed about this. It's usually a little bit more tense than on Twitch right now. I'm really worried that the Stura Mill's just going to spot me and kill me, but with 4 minutes left, and to all intents and purposes they're full health, I think I just got to go for it. Okay, I've been spotted. I was spotted. Just tell my team as much information as I possibly can. Now, they could manage to get shots in through the side. They could manage to get shots everywhere. Challenger, can you spot here? Can you see? Cover there, please. There's the 88. There he is. Just keep moving. Hellcat's trying to shoot me from the side. I'm not going to risk it. I dodged him. I should have the rate of fire on him. Oh, this is a spicy game for YouTube. Oh, congrats to everyone who suffered through my early VK aggression, right? But this is it. You've got to make your playstyle. My playstyle is always aggressive. And the Hellcat drowned himself. Oh, baby. That is a carry. This is why you can't change your playstyle just if a few things go wrong for you. Wow, I'm really happy with that game. 6 kills, 3,400. And we had so many pitfalls. That focus up on the Cromwell with the SU trying to make the flanking play. Then we had the VK trying to sneak on back. Then we had the Cromwell that caught us out in the open. And we had to just weather the storm, take the hits, but just get to a corner and turn my armor towards him. Really happy. Do you know what's hilarious? That is not even an ace tanker. That is how overpowered this vehicle and how well it has been performing. Do you know what I love about big games like that? We just got 3 field mods in a single game. That is going to make this thing massively better. Now we've got our better ground resistances. And now we're going to also go and we're going to put a second set of equipment on this tank where I drop the coated optics. And instead I'm going to be going with like vents, gun rammer. We'll get a durability device on there as well. And that'll be really nice for those close quarters maps. Yeah, it'd been really cool to have those extra 100 hit points in that last game. But maybe if I didn't use the coated optics, I'd have spotted the Cromwell. Anyway, that was the Cheeto SP. Woo! Kind of saves our session a little bit there. Otherwise, this could have been a real ugly one. Okay, so now we've played the most popular medium, heavy tank, tank destroyer. Let's have a go in the most popular light tank, which is the AMX 1375. So the AMX 1375, it's not as old as the game is, but it's a very old light tank. I'm trying to think about what tier this vehicle originally was back in the day. The original tier 10 auto, or shall I say the original tier 9 autoloader was the Batchat. The tier 10 autoloader was the AMX 50B. They were both added as the French vehicles were added to World of Tanks. So the original French light tank line must have gone AMX 12T, AMX 1375, AMX 90, 1390, and then I think it was the Lorraine, and then the Batchat. So I've got a funny feeling that, unless I'm mistaken, that maybe the 1390 was originally tier 7 and this one was tier 6. Somebody will have to dig out an old screenshot. I'm trying to piece it all together. But I think the Lorraine was the original tier 8. Or maybe the Lorraine was the original tier 9 and then the Batchat was tier 10 when they moved the Batchat up to tier 10. Anyway, look, we're trying to theory craft here, but I know that the 1375 was one of the original auto-loading light tanks. Just the baby brother of the 1390. I think it was at tier 6 or tier 7 the whole time, but even if it was at tier 6, it still got the equivalent of tier 7 matchup. So, the 1375, I've got two builds for this tank. One is like a spotty, sneaky, scouty build, and one is a damagey build. I think I'm going to have to go for the spotty build on this map. We're going to be using exhaust, vents, and coated optics. We're not using a vision system because you can't use vision systems until tier 8. But even on a map like this, the vision system isn't that useful. It can be nice for picking out your opponents in some bushes. Okay, so when I'm spotting in a light tank, there are a few plays that you can make. Number one is you can go and sit in the bush over here. It's a real low impact play. I would do that with tanks with like really high view range, or if you're just really uncomfortable and you've got binoculars and you want to just go and chill in there. Personally for me, I prefer the play where I get forwards on this map. I think it's a little bit risky, but luckily the matchup means they've only got like 2 tier 8s, so I should still be okay. This push play forwards, if you can get up here, means that you can sometimes get shots as your opponents push there. And also, it might mean that I might be able to dump a mag out over here, but you've got to be careful because this position is very precarious. So there's a 1357 and friends. Sometimes you just got to dump your mag in, right? Now, I could have lost 300 hit points. This guy's also stopping in a really bad way, so I'm going to actually go up here and see if I can get him to sit there, because sometimes if he sits there, like the Kari and friends can shoot them. Okay, I've got an easy 8 trying to flank me. So you've got to be careful in this tank because it has really bad gun elevation. So I've got to try and go towards here through the side. See if I can hunt this easy 8. There's 1, 2, 3... Can't fire that one. I'm actually going to reload gold here. And the reason for that is, look how low amounts of ammunition this tank can have. I'm going to ask my team for some help here. Luckily, the VK seems to be coming in. Oh no, the VK's just got caught really badly. Bless him though, he's really going for it. Okay, maybe I can save him still. 1. Don't fail me now, gun. 2. He's dead. He's paid the ultimate price. I would have wished I could have killed this easy 8 here. Oh, poor little VK. Okay, they got them. I'll say thank you. Oh no, they're all like dying there. Oh gosh, this is not good. Alright, what shall I do? I mean, if they just come around the corner, I am going to get farmed, unless the SU-122 helps me. I've got another gold mag loaded. A Hellcat pushing. What's this guy doing? I thought the Hellcat would come after me, honestly. A load of regular mag here. Well, that was a free mag, wasn't it? And we even got some spotting against the Hellcat, which means he's a one-shot for me now. Make sure I'm not getting flanked. Woo! This is tense. I don't know why it's so tense. You know what? Playing live for YouTube is always tense, but for some reason today, like World of Tanks is extra tense. Here they come. I'm gonna ask for some help. And then this is where you just gotta be a little bit sneaky, right? 1. I missed that second shot. It's not good. Do you think the Hellcat will try and poke me here? Oh, I really wish I'd hit that. It would have been so good. I'm going to keep this round for a second. Nice. Okay, I'm going to skip the round now, try to avoid the Hellcat for a second, reload, and then go after the T-3485M when I'm no longer spotted. See how useful this position was? At just forcing the enemies into stupid, right? Perfect! Perfection. And that is auto-loading light tank gameplay. You see, the thing is these auto-loading light tanks, they aren't the best scouts. They don't have kind of like the best view range, the best camo, right? Unless you're a Borask. You could be one of the best scouts even though you're a medium, right? But what they do have is a lot of pressure that you can apply with that gun. And so you've got to take your risks with the gun. If you don't take your risks with the gun, why aren't you just playing another light tank? Okay, Hellcat looks like he's fallen all the way back. Udez, that's perfect. It's a very scary tank. I'd love a fire here. I'd love to actually just hit the tank. Oh, I probably shouldn't have fired that shell because Remember what I said about this thing having limited ammunition? I think I should still be okay, but that's pretty scary to have that low ammo. Okay, where do we think the Hellcat went? Do we think he's gone up here, or do we think he's gone over there? Either way, I think I gotta just spot for my team here. I think this is the play. I gotta be careful. Where did the Hellcat kill the Hellcat, though? If the Hellcat killed the Hellcat, he must be over in the corner, right? But this little basin over here should be amazing. Gotta make sure every shot counts right now. This game's actually coming quite close. So I think the Hellcat is back there. They have a Skoda T56 who's very healthy. This game's actually incredibly close when I think about it. Shall I make a play on the Hellcat? I think I should. I've got my team's hit points. I need to make a play on the Hellcat and then kill the UDES before, like, the Skoda T56 farms my entire team. Because I think that's exactly what the Skoda T56 does, doesn't it? It just farms your entire team. Luckily I found this guy. Do I take the risk that I kill the UDES in a single mag? Nice. Just gotta, please no low rolls. And if I low rolled that, could have been a game loss. I'm really happy with the way that I read this situation though, because I knew that that Skoda's gonna farm up my entire team. And if I hadn't got rid of these players, then the Skoda comes across, I'm dead. Whereas now, I feel like the pressure's up on the enemy team. At least I hope the pressure's up on the enemy team, huh? Always drive backwards in a French light like this, because it's easier to get away, and also you're exposing a smaller amount of your vehicle. Here comes the Skoda. He got hit pretty good there. Alright, I have to run. Or actually, he'll be reloading now, right? Woo! Okay, now I'm gonna have to play campy camp with a Skoda. He's got a Basoto friend. Man, this thing's not actually very fast at all. I think my car re is AFK, by the way. There's the Basoto. He fired one, he fired two. Damn, I don't have the alpha to kill him. Only got 2 rounds left on each gun. Okay. Oh my good god, is the car re-AFK? I can't believe this. I can't believe this game. This is an insane... I'm going to have to use every single round of ammunition in my vehicle if I want to do this. I have to hit every single round against this Basoto. I'm going to have to fire 2 and then I'm going to have to reload against him. I'm not going to go around the corner right now because I don't have a repair kit, but he's given me a window now. He fired twice and then he fell back because I spotted him through the bush and he didn't see me. Okay, I've got to fire twice and then I'll get the Faden's medal, I guess, as long as I don't miss my shells. There's one. Oh no, he hit me twice. Got to be careful now, actually. Alright, now I've got to reload an entire mag for a single shell. This is it, my moment. A natural fade-ins and 7 kills live on YouTube. Are you kidding me? This is almost too good for live YouTube. I could have made this into its own video. No! The last shot. Oh, my lord. Games don't usually get me like that, boys and girls. But they got me now. My first ever ace tanker in one of the original tanks? Are you actually kidding me? This is ridiculous. What a game. We had to go after the Skoda T56. I can't believe it. That might be one of my best games of the year when you consider I did this without, like, the best of crews. Oh my lord. Oh my lord. I don't even know what to say. Mic drop and out. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Well, there you have it. We started weak in this video. We finished as strong as you can with 2 hyper carries. And if this is not a good example of why some people question, you know, win ratio in World of Tanks, it's all luck, it's all RNG, it's all what teams you get. No, it's not. It is not luck. It is not RNG. And while I'm not saying that I expect all of you to carry as hard as we carried here, especially with a Kari who was literally AFK the entire game, it really shows you that if you just dig deep and you're fresh, especially for me at the start of the day, not having just streamed for 10 or 12 hours, which definitely lowers my performance. Oh, I'm super happy about that. So we turned around a session that could have been a disaster to actually being a 75% win rate session with 3.5 kills a game and pretty okay combines for tier 7s. Anyway, ladies and gents, boys and girls, that was it for today. Really hope you enjoyed this live performance on YouTube. These 2 top guns, 2 mega carries, and a natural fade-ins medal for remaining calm and cool and killing the last remaining tank with my last shell and an AFK Kari in base who didn't even fire a single shot. If you did, make sure you give this video a like. If you didn't, give the video a thumbs down. And yeah, I'm going to be going live on Twitch all day. So come along if you want to get yourself some new tokens to get yourself your T14 heavy. Anyway, as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you live on Twitch right now.